What happens when the people sworn to protect us decide the rules just don't apply anymore? When that whole pursuit of security or perceived security starts to unravel the very fabric of democracy? It's a chilling question, right? And today we're diving into it through Tom Clancy's, landmark thriller, Clear and Present Danger. We're not just going to summarize the plot, though it is gripping. We want to explore how Clancy really dissects the ethical and political dangers of unchecked power. And to help us really unpack these complex ideas, you're about to experience something pretty cutting edge. This whole analysis, all the insights you'll hear, they come from a unique two-voice AI conversation. It's powered by Google's NotebookLM, and it's really designed for this kind of deeper, dynamic book analysis. It changes how we can explore these things.
Exactly. And speaking of unpacking the kind of profound ethical and political questions raised in this book, they are a perfect fit for our Mindful Moments series. You can find those insights and more AI book analysis, too, over on our YouTube channel. It's all crafted to, inspire a bit of reflection and rational thought.
Okay, so our mission today, delve into that moral ambiguity, the real-world consequences of these secret military actions done without any oversight, all seen through the eyes of Jack Ryan's investigation.
Oh.
So let's set the scene a bit. Clear and Present Danger. It came out August 17th, 1989, shot straight to #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, and later became a pretty successful film, too. It's the 5th book in that iconic Jack Ryan series.
Right. And you have to remember the context. Late 1980s, it was a time just brimming with anxiety. You had widespread fears about drug trafficking. The whole fallout from Iran-Contra was still very much in the air.
That whole secret arms deal.
Exactly. Secret arms sales, money funneled to rebels, and just this growing reliance on covert ops by U.S. agencies. Clancy masterfully weaves these very real-world concerns right into his story. It gives it this incredible weight.
Yeah, it does. And the core of the story, it centers on Jack Ryan. He's just been promoted, CIA Deputy Director of Intelligence. Then he finds out he's been deliberately, intentionally kept out of the loop on a top-secret operation down in Colombia. So it's not just about external enemies. It becomes about internal threats, rogue officials inside his own government.
And that's what's so fascinating, isn't it? How Clancy explores that abuse of power, political power, military power. He dives right into the moral gray areas, the accountability or maybe the lack of it within government. And he really exposes the complex, sometimes deeply corrupt nature of the war on drugs. He shows that tension, that constant push and pull between national security and democratic values.
So as the secret ops just spirals completely out of control, Ryan has to team up with John Clark, the field officer. Their goal becomes rescuing these abandoned American soldiers and exposing the illegal actions of these high-ranking officials. Clancy's argument really comes through here. He's basically saying this secret war against the cartels, it's morally questionable, legally dubious, and that, real patriotism means upholding ethical standards, even, maybe especially during national security crises.
And the way he tells it, the narrative just expertly shifts perspective. You're in the White House one minute, then the CIA, then out with the military teams, even inside the Colombian cartels. It all builds towards this really powerful confrontation between Ryan and the president. And it forces you to ask, okay, at what point do these drug traffickers actually become a threat to national security, like a real one?
When can a nation act?
Exactly. When is it legitimate? And Clancy gives us those stark lines, the ones that stick with you. Like, it's your ball, run with it.
Yeah.
Or that chilling one, you have to go out, you don't have to come back.
Oof, yeah, you don't have to come back.
Yeah.
That one really lands. So let's talk about Clancy himself. We know he was famous for his meticulous research, his technical accuracy. He seemed to have real insider access. How does that reputation, that expertise, lend credibility or ethos, rhetorically, to a story this controversial?
Oh, it's crucial. Clancy's dedication to detail, to making the scenarios feel plausible, absolutely builds his ethos, his credibility. He uses these incredibly detailed descriptions of military tech, intelligence ops, the bureaucratic infighting. It all feels real.
Like he knows his stuff.
Precisely. It makes you feel he genuinely understands this world he's writing about. Now, sure, his maybe his conservative worldview subtly shapes the moral framework a bit.
You can sometimes feel that.
You can, but his commitment to realism is what convinces you that these kinds of things could actually happen. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, Clancy isn't just spinning a yarn, he's dramatizing the huge risks involved in secret wars, in unchecked authority. He's essentially sounding an alarm, right? Warning against sacrificing democratic principles for well, what look like easy solutions.
Which connects directly back to things like Iran-Contra.
Absolutely. It's a direct parallel. And his audience, people interested in military thrillers, political thrillers, they get immersed. The prose is accessible, even with all the jargon, and shifting between characters keeps you engaged.
Okay, here's something I find really interesting. How does Clancy take these massive, abstract political decisions and make us feel them? What techniques does he use to pull us in emotionally to create that pathos?
He's really good at it. He uses these vivid action scenes, really high-stakes missions. That creates immediate suspense, right? But also a deep empathy for the soldiers who are basically pawns in these political games.
Especially the abandonment plotline.
Oh, definitely. The abandonment and then the rescue of the American troops in Colombia, that generates this profound sense of outrage, of injustice. You feel it. And then there's the personal cost to Jack Ryan himself. The funerals he misses, the constant moral tightrope he's walking. That creates a significant emotional investment from you, the reader. You care about what happens to him, ethically as well as physically. And the plot itself, the logos or logic of it, is built on the steady escalation. Covert ops lead to cover-ups, which inevitably start to unravel. Clancy systematically shows the consequences flowing from each decision. He maps out exactly how unchecked power leads straight to disaster.
It feels almost inevitable as you read it.
It does.
Yeah.
And the way the subplots weave together, the shifting perspectives, it mirrors the actual complexity of real-world intelligence and military operations. It gives it that logical backbone.
So putting it all together, the detail, the emotion, the logic, how does this impact his writing style? How do his specific choices in language and structure reinforce the message?
Well, his diction, his word choice, is very technical, very precise, lots of military and intel jargon, which again builds that authenticity.
Right.
But he mixes these brisk action sequences with quite detailed exposition. So the tone stays suspenseful, urgent, but also deeply morally serious. There are even moments of real cynicism about political leadership woven in.
And those questions he poses.
Yes, the rhetorical questions. Characters, or even the narrator, will directly ask about legality, morality, the limits of power. It makes you stop and think. He also uses juxtaposition really effectively, like placing the external threat of the cartels right alongside the internal danger of government overreach.
Making you wonder who the real enemy is.
Exactly. It's a powerful way to frame the central conflict.
So ultimately, how effective do you think clear and present danger is in achieving what it sets out to do? And what about its relevance today? Does it still hold up?
Oh, I think he absolutely nails it. He successfully dramatizes both the ethical and the practical dangers of these covert operations. It's a powerful argument for transparency, for accountability in government. And it's not just about showing the chaos, it's about showing how the language itself, terms like clear and present danger, can be twisted, weaponized by people in power to bypass oversight.
Creating a sort of self-justifying cycle.
Precisely, a cycle of corruption.
Right.
And the book's blend of action, tech detail, political critique, it really makes you reflect on real-world issues that haven't gone away. Even the ending, which is kind of ambiguous, the cycles of violence, of corruption, seem like they'll just continue. That reinforces the sheer complexity of the war on drugs, the limits of military solutions.
So the warnings feel very current.
Incredibly current. The warnings about unchecked power, about moral compromise, they resonate so strongly in today's discussions about national security, government ethics. It's remarkably relevant.
It really is a masterclass in that kind of immersive, detailed storytelling. The characters feel complex, morally gray, and it engages with these huge dilemmas. Though, there are some critiques worth mentioning. Some say the characters can sometimes feel a bit like they exist just to move the plot forward.
Yeah, plot vehicles.
Right. And the dense technical detail, while impressive, can maybe be overwhelming for some readers. And the plot is sprawling, which can sometimes affect the pacing a little.
Still, this book, especially when you unpack it, maybe like we're doing with these AI insights, it truly highlights Clancy's enduring model, melding that technical realism with really sharp political critique. He didn't just shape a genre, he arguably shaped public perceptions of intelligence work for decades.
Absolutely. And if you found this exploration thought-provoking, remember to check out Mindful Moments over on our YouTube channel. And for more deep analyses like this one, definitely explore our other podcasts. They're all designed to give you a, clearer understanding of complex subjects.
Clancy's narrative really challenges us, doesn't it, to consider the true costs. The costs of secret wars, the meaning of democratic accountability. So maybe a question for you to think about is, how do we as a society strike that balance, the balance between the need for national security and the fundamental need for democratic oversight and ethical action? Where is that line?
That's a great question to leave people with. We definitely encourage you to subscribe for more insights like this. Share this analysis with someone who loves a good thriller, or maybe someone interested in power dynamics. You can find the book via the link in our description if you want to experience it yourself. And most importantly, keep thinking critically.